Julian Alvarez to Atletico Madrid, has this got any wheels?
Well, look, Atleti are undergoing a pretty major rebuild this summer. Of course, Morata's gone, Memphis Depay has gone. They're looking to sort of rebuild the attack and midfield as well. And Diego Simeone, we know, is a fan of Julian Alvarez. Of course he is. The big question for them will be, can they convince City to let him go, and can they convince the player to come? I guess the big argument you might make is, look, we will build the team around you. We'll build the forward line around you. You'll be the main man in attack in a way that he hasn't been at Manchester City. But I think if you look at the stats, certainly last season, he played a lot of games for City, started a lot of games for City as well. Yes, he's not the main man in attack. Of course, that's Erling Haaland. But he's playing a lot of football for Manchester City. So I don't know how much of a case Atletico could make to try and lure him away, whether Simeone could play a part in that, of course, his fellow countryman. I mean, fantastic player. And how exciting would that be? I think it would be a real upgrade for Atletico in attack. I think it would make the team better. And like I say, they are restructuring the team in a pretty major way this summer and looking to make a number of deals. But I think it's a tough one. I think they would like to make it happen, and Simeone would definitely love to bring him in. But whether they can convince the player and convince City as well, I'm not so sure.
Makes sense, doesn't it, Shane?
It makes sense. But
we were discussing before with Nadem and Craig are on about whether if you want to leave Manchester City and go to Atleti, because you know you will be the man in Atleti.
And that's the thing. While I think it's a blow to Manchester City, because Julian Alvarez is an outstanding player. And Alex is right. He may not be the main striker, second to Erling Haaland, but I cannot think of a better number 2 striker in world football than Julian Alvarez. And if you're Julian Alvarez, I also understand that you don't want to play second fiddle to anybody. And even though Haaland had his injury issues during the course of the season, and that meant Alvarez played a lot, even when Haaland was fit, having that option of Julian Alvarez to come off the bench or whatever it may be for an impact, I just don't think it gets any better. So it's a blow to City, but I totally understand Julian Alvarez wanting to move on because, again, he's far too good to play second fiddle at any club.
Do you know his problem? Do you know Julian Alvarez's problem? Is Julian Alvarez. And what I mean by that is he's such a versatile front player and such a good, solid addition to a first 11, or better so, the squad. That he'll not like that. But he covered Kevin De Bruyne, great, when he was out. If Phil Foden's injured or loses form, he covers him. If Erling Haaland needs a rest or he's injured, he covers him. Doku, any of those positions, across the front line or in front of the midfield, Julian Alvarez can do it, and he can do it well. And that's a problem for him in terms of letting him go. And there's a problem for Guardiola, and that's why maybe this deal will come off. But I think unless the City manager's feeling a bit soft and sentimental, I don't think he's going to want to let him go for those reasons. He's so valuable. When you have a player that can only do one thing, it's a little bit easier. When you've got a player that
and do it well as well,
and covers 2, 3, or maybe even 4 of your star players, that at any time, and Alex is right, Julian Alvarez played a big role for Man City over a lot of games last year, and it's not like it was when they were letting go of Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling was on the fringes in the end, right? And he could play. He was a little bit of a one-trick pony. Julian Alvarez is not, and I would imagine Man City are trying to convince him that he's going to play a big part, he's going to be needed, but I can see it from the player's point of view. Atleti, I think he would fit in really, really well there, along with Griezmann and 1 or 2 others. And as I say, he fills so many voids for Simeone that he does already for Guardiola, that it's a tough one to see City allowing to happen.